Good morning, everyone. Hope you are safe and healthy. The topic for today's lesson is very creative, and it is story writing, as you can see from the slide. Dear students, do you know that writing a story is an art? Today, you will learn this art of writing a short story using verbs and adjectives. And I know my students are very creative. So, story writing will enhance your art of writing, and I think all of you know how to make your story more interesting. Yes, you are right. You can make your story more impressive by using verbs, or you can say action words, and adjectives that are describing words. So let's start. Let me tell you what is a story. A story is the telling of an event, either true or fictional, and fictional is false, in such a way that the listener experiences or learns something just by the fact that he heard the story. A story is a means of transferring information, experience, attitude, or point of view. Every story has a teller and a listener. So, a story can either be true or fictional, which means false. A listener learns a lot of things from the story. It is an art of transferring information to other people. My dear students, do you know that in the old times, when people had no means of entertainment, they used to light fire, and that was called bonfire. So, what they used to do? They used to sit around the fire and tell stories to each other. It was so refreshing for them after a hard day work. So we can say that it is the earliest form of entertainment. It played an important role as a way for people to pass on their cultural values and traditions, even history from one generation to another. Let's come to the learning objectives. Read the learning objectives with me. Can I write a short story using verbs and adjectives? Can I differentiate between fiction and non-fiction? Can I describe the main elements of a story? So let me tell you what is a short story. A short story is a brief, fictional, not true, narrative type of prose that involves conflict, characters, a situation, and a setting that describes the action in the form of a plot. So, a short story consists of characters, and there is always a setting and a plot. And you know that always there is a problem that arises in the story, and at the end, that problem has a solution, or you can say at the end, the problem is solved. It can usually be read in one sitting. So it's a short novel, you can say in simple words, and you can read it in one sitting. A short story has few characters, usually one or two main characters. So a short story has few characters, whereas a novel has so many characters in it. So it comprises of one or two main characters. So these are the elements of a short story. So there are two main types of a story, and that is fiction and non-fiction. Fiction is a story that is not true or false, and non-fiction is based on facts. Now let me tell you what is a fiction. Fiction. Now let's have a look at some fiction stories. The Little Prince. Harry Potter. So, Harry Potter is everyone's favorite. I also like reading Harry Potter, What about you? It is your favorite too? Okay, come to the next one. Goldilocks and the Three Pirates. So these are examples of fiction, and that is not true. Let's have a look at some more fiction stories. The Magic Pot. This story is magic. Frozen. I love Frozen. What about you? Cinderella. Cinderella is my favorite. In fact, it is all time's favorite. Fiction. Fictional texts are texts made up by an author that are not true. Come to non-fiction. Non-fiction are real books that tell, inform, teach, and explain. So in short, non-fiction are books that tells you about history, geography, and facts. They give you a lot of knowledge and inform you. So, non-fiction books teach us information and facts. Non-fiction is real. They are text features and photographs. Real topics might be on holidays, animals, and sports in non-fiction. Now, come to story elements. So, the story elements characters are people, animals, and things that think, feel, and act. And setting is also there, where and when. So, where the story is taking place? When is the story taking place? Now, come to the plot. Plot is very, very important. So, a story plot has 3 paragraphs: beginning, middle, and end. So, first is beginning, next is middle, and last is end of the story. Now, have a look at this story mountain. It explains how to write a good story. So, always in the beginning, there is an introduction where the story is taking place. You have to write about the setting and about the characters. Then the story is building up. In the middle, there is always a problem. And then you are going towards solving the problem. And in the end, the problem is always solved. So, the story ends here. Let's come to a very interesting intro starter activity. So, get ready for that. Dear students, for today's intro starter activity, we all are going to use our 5 senses. So let me tell you about senses. Senses allow us to observe and understand the world around us. There are 5 main ways we can do this. Through sight, with our eyes; through touch, with our fingers; smell, with our nose; taste, with our tongue; and hearing, with our ears. As the topic for today's story is Lost in the Jungle, yes, you are going to write a short story on the topic Lost in the Jungle. So first, with the help of our 5 senses, we will describe a jungle. What can you find in a jungle? What can you see there? So you can see lots of wild animals, tall trees, as jungles are dense because of the tall trees. Tall trees wouldn't allow much of the sunlight to enter a jungle. You can find creepers there, and you can also find a waterfall. Can you tell me which ORT reader we have read before on Jungle Story? Yes, you are right. It was the same, Lost in the Jungle. My student's memory is very sharp. Okay, now come to this one. Which type of sounds you can hear in the jungle? Yes, you can hear the roaring of a lion or the howling of a wolf. But you can also hear the sweet chirping of birds. What can you smell in a jungle? You can smell the fragrance of flowers, or there are some sweet fragrance of trees and leaves as well. You can smell of fruits. What can you eat and drink? Yes, you can eat coconuts or fruits there. You can drink coconut water or fresh fountain water. What can you touch in a jungle? You can touch thorny plants. You can also touch soft leaves. You can touch hard stones over there. Dear students, now it's time for the written work. So please bring your creative writing notebooks, sharpen your pencils, and write day and date in your notebook. Prepare your page. Don't forget to write classwork in the middle. After writing day, date and classwork, write the topic, which is Lost in the Jungle. Then you are going to write the learning objective for the lesson, which is, can I write a story using verbs and adjectives? After this, write the question neatly. Write a short story with 3 paragraphs, beginning, middle, end, on the topic Lost in the Jungle, using the given outline. So look at the slide. This is the outline for you. So using this outline, you are going to write a short story on the topic Lost in the Jungle. So first you will write, why did you go to the jungle? What was the reason for going to the jungle? Did you go with your friends or did you go all alone? So you are going to write, why did you go to the jungle? How did you get lost in the jungle? So you have to write in detail, how did you get lost there? What did you hear? Then, using your 5 senses, you are going to describe the setting of the jungle. As I have told you before, remember that in the first paragraph, you will describe the setting and the characters as well. So now, you are the main character in the story, right? And then, you are going to describe the setting in detail. What did you hear? Did you hear the roaring of a lion? Or did you hear the howling of a wolf? Or you heard the sweet chirping of birds? Then you are going to describe your feeling. How did you feel? So you are going to describe how did you feel at that time? You feel frightened? Or you were confident as you are very brave? What did you see? Then you are going to write that what did you see there? Yes, you saw a lot of wild animals there. You can see a monkey in a jungle. You can see some parrots, elephants, cheetah, or lion, the king of the jungle, alligators, crocodiles, chameleons, birds, butterflies, thorny bushes, tall trees. So a jungle is full of these things. Then you will start writing the middle of the story, right? Now you are lost in the jungle and you are so afraid, you are startled. So you are thinking how to get out of this jungle, but you are thirsty and hungry. So you will also write, how did you quench your thirst? What did you drink? And then, when you were hungry, what did you eat? You can eat coconuts there and fruits like bananas. Then you are going to write, what were your efforts to go out of the jungle? What did you find? Did you find a treasure from the jungle? Or did you find something else? Whom did you meet there? So you are also going to write, whom did you meet there? As there is the solution of the problem of getting lost in the jungle, you will write your last paragraph, the end of the story, where the problem is going to be resolved and someone will rescue you from the jungle. It may be anyone. It may be a passerby, or it may be a woodcutter who has come into the jungle for cutting woods. And he is familiar of all the ways in the jungle. So maybe he will rescue you from there. Did you find your way out of the jungle? What type of adventure was it? So now you are going to write, did you enjoy that adventure? Or you would never like to have such an adventure again in your life. So in this way, you will write 3 paragraphs, beginning, middle, and end, using this given outline. So I think it is clear to you people that how you are going to write a short story. Let's come to some sentence starters and helping words. So, I am always telling you that you are not going to repeat a word to start a sentence. So, these sentence starters will help you in writing the story without the repetition of same words. I was lost. It was gloomy. Having decided, with shaky legs. The loud shriek. After a while, to my excitement. Now come to the helping words. Creaking. So what is creaking? Creaking is a harsh sound or high-pitched sound. It is made when something is moved. So in a jungle, you can hear creaking or squeaky sounds. Bushy. Yes, a jungle is bushy too. Everywhere you can see creepers, heavy branches. It is very green in color. Now come to dense. Dense is heavy or thick. You know a jungle is dense. Why it is dense? Because it is covered with tall trees. And because of those tall trees, sunlight is unable to enter the jungle. So very little sunlight can enter. That's why it is dense or thick and gloomy also. It is dark. Now come to the next helping word, damp. Damp is a little wet. Steep. Steep is inclined. Like the cliffs are steep, the hills are steep, the mountains are steep. So you can use this word as you can see cliffs in a jungle. Dark. Yes, a jungle is dark. Which is the next word? Eerie. So eerie is strange and frightening. Yes, a jungle is frightening. Come to uneven. Uneven means which is not smooth. So you can find so many uneven paths in a jungle. Howl. What is howl? Howl is the cry, a long cry uttered by a dog or a wolf. What is flashing? Shining. Maybe you have found something shiny in the jungle? Thumping. Thumping means pounding or throbbing in a heavy, continuous way. So you can use this word like, my heart started thumping when I saw a gigantic lion or elephant, you can say. Yes, there are wild animals in the jungle. What is the meaning of roar? Roar is also a sound of animals, like you can say a lion can roar. Come to the word flickering. Flickering is a flame or light burning or shining unsteadily. So maybe you have seen a light in the jungle. There is a building in the jungle somewhere from which the light is coming. Come to the word spooky. Spooky means frightening. Woodcutter. You know that a person who cuts wood is called a woodcutter. Moan. Moan is also a long, low sound. Shivered. Shivered means shake slightly as a result of being cold or frightened. Rescued. Rescued means save someone from a dangerous situation. So someone rescued you, someone saved you. Shadow. You know the meaning of shadow. Lurking. Lurking is to sneak, to behave in such a way to escape attention. And then, when you are out of the jungle, you were enthusiastic. Enthusiastic means excited. So, my dear students, I hope all these helping words and sentence starters, they can help you in writing a very impressive story. So, write an interesting one. I'll wait for your story. Now, it's time for the plenary, so get ready for that. For the plenary, you are going to check the following points. You know, it is very important to recheck what you have written. While you are rechecking, you can find your own mistakes. Never forget to recheck your work. So, you are going to check the following points after writing the story. And what are those points? Did you use capital letters for writing a new sentence and for proper nouns? So you know this thing very well that always whenever we are going to write a new sentence, we will use capital letter to write a new sentence. And capital letters are also used for proper nouns. Yes, we use capital letters for writing a new sentence and for proper nouns, whereas we use small letters for writing which type of nouns? Common nouns. Then you are going to check, did you use a lot of verbs and adjectives to make your story more interesting? I know that you must have used a lot of action words or verbs and a lot of describing words or adjectives because my students love to use verbs and adjectives while they are writing. So, it will make your story more impressive. And what about capital letter? So, you are not going to forget to use capital letter at the end of a sentence. It will show that the sentence is finished. Have you done proper paragraphing for your story or not? So this is very important that whether you have written the story in 3 paragraphs or not, because every story has how many paragraphs? Yes, 3 paragraphs. Beginning, middle and end. So you are going to check all these points after writing the story. And if you have used all these points, if all these points were in your mind while writing the story and you have done it, clap for yourselves. So dear students, if you want to learn how to write a short story, you'll have to go through these main steps. So what are the main steps? Know your character. So you should know your characters very well. And remember, in a short story, there are not many characters. Outline your short story. So first, you are going to give an outline to your story or to your story plot. Start with something out of the ordinary. So you will start with something ordinary and then your story will gradually be special after some time. You start with ordinary things and then it will become special. Get your draft done as soon as possible. So you are going to make a draft first. Draft is the rough outline so that you can change it. Edit your short story. Then you are going to make changes in the short story. If you think that your short story is not very impressive, you can edit it. Title your short story. Then you are going to give it a title. Get feedback about it. Then you can tell your friend or any adult in the house to read the story and give you feedback about it, that what should be added to it to make it more interesting. Practice often. So you are going to write short stories again and again. You know that there is a saying, practice makes a man perfect? Yes. So when you will practice something, you will practice writing, you will become very good at the art of writing. So you are going to write the stories frequently. If you will keep all these points in your mind, your story will be a very good one. I can say an excellent one. My dear students, it's always a fun to teach you people because you give me good response. So this time you are going to write a very good story. I will wait for your story. Goodbye. I hope you all have a blessed day.